Okay, let's just dive right into this because we've literally all been there, right? You're standing in front of your open fridge, just staring at this half eaten, pretty expensive block of gourmet cheese. You know for a fact you're not going to finish it before it goes bad, and that guilt of throwing it away is already kind of creeping in. Well, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to solve this super relatable kitchen dilemma. But we aren't just stopping at your home fridge. We're actually going to take this fascinating journey from the simple home kitchen all the way up to massive commercial dairy plants, just to uncover the hidden food science of preservation.
So, the absolute most crucial point we need to address right out of the gate is a question that honestly plagues home cooks everywhere. Can you actually freeze cheese? I mean, it seems like a simple question, right? You want to avoid the anxiety of wasting perfectly good food, but you also really don't want to ruin it. And the short answer is yes, but it comes with a major scientific caveat. Now, freezing as a concept is an ancient food preservation method. Humans have literally been doing it for over 3,000 years to increase shelf life, reduce waste, and, save money. But when it comes to cheese, dropping it into your freezer permanently alters its flavor and texture. It is just not going to come out exactly the way it went in. To understand why, we need to look a little closer at the chemistry. Section 1, the science of ice crystals. What's really fascinating here is the actual process of ice crystallization. So cheese is basically an emulsion of water, fat, and protein. When you freeze it, the water inside starts to form these tiny ice crystals. And these ice crystals, they act like microscopic daggers, literally tearing apart and disrupting the delicate internal structure, or the matrix, of the cheese. So when you finally thaw it out, those ice crystals melt and they release their water. The result? You get a product that suddenly dries out, becomes super brittle and crumbly, and develops this really unappealing, mealy texture.
And this is where the specific type of cheese really matters, because water content completely dictates the freezing point. Take a high moisture cheese, like cottage cheese, for example. It'll freeze at 29.8 degrees Fahrenheit. That is just barely below the freezing point of pure water. But a low moisture hard cheese, like cheddar, it actually doesn't freeze until it hits 8.8 degrees Fahrenheit. So the rule of thumb here is, the more water your cheese has, the faster it freezes, and the more of that microscopic ice crystal damage it's going to sustain.
Section 2. The best and worst cheeses to freeze. When it comes to the freezer, we essentially have clear survivors and clear casualties. Your survivors are going to be high-fat, industrial, low-moisture, and semi-hard cheeses. They handle the cold surprisingly well. We're talking cheddar, mozzarella, Swiss, provolone, Gouda. But the casualties? Delicate, soft, or artisanal cheeses suffer just absolutely catastrophic texture loss. High-moisture fresh curds like cottage cheese and ricotta, or soft-ripened ones like brie and camembert, yeah, they will be totally ruined in the freezer. But, form matters just as much as the type. Pre-shredding your cheese before freezing is an absolute game changer. It speeds up the thawing process, lowers the moisture content just a tiny bit, and makes it incredibly easy to use straight from the cold. On the flip side, if you freeze a whole solid block of hard cheese, it's going to become highly brittle and just incredibly frustrating to slice later. Oh, and a quick aside for fans of blue cheese, freezing actually damages the essential live molds that give it that signature funky flavor, stopping the ripening process entirely. So absolutely keep your Roquefort in the fridge. Section 3, your home freezing guide. So if you are going to do it, here is the absolute optimal method. Step 1, portion it out. Do not freeze more than 1 pound at a time and wrap it airtight in a Ziploc bag, or even better, vacuum seal it. You want portions you're actually going to use in one go, because you can never refreeze thawed cheese. Step 2 is incredibly critical. Freeze it as rapidly as possible. If your freezer has a quick freeze function, use it to get that temp down to -9 degrees Fahrenheit. Fast freezing prevents those massive, disruptive ice crystals from forming. And step 3, thaw it slowly. You want to thaw it in the refrigerator for about 7 to 8 hours per pound. Slow thawing gives the moisture time to re-equilibrate and kind of rehydrate that protein matrix. Once it's safely frozen, your cheese has a shelf life of about 6 to 9 months for the best quality. But you want the ultimate pro tip? Because the texture is inevitably going to become at least a little bit crumbly, the absolute best use for thawed cheese is in hot cooked dishes. Just toss that shredded mozzarella right on a pizza, or melt that cheddar into a panini or a rich cheese sauce. The heat completely hides any of the textural changes that happened in the freezer. It's like it never even happened. Section 4, industry secrets to shelf life. Now, this problem of having way too much cheese and needing to extend its shelf life without ruining it, that happens on a massive scale. Think back to when the pandemic shut down restaurants almost overnight, and literally millions of pounds of commercial cheese suddenly had nowhere to go. To prevent just a catastrophic amount of waste, dairy researchers rapidly developed and shared some truly mind-blowing strategies. When a massive plant has pallets of mozzarella just sitting around, they rely on 4 main tactics: super chilling, high-pressure processing, modifying make procedures, and increasing stretching temperatures. Let's break these down because they're pretty cool.
First step is super chilling. Instead of freezing the cheese, which we now know causes all that ice crystal damage, industrial facilities hold the cheese at an ultra-low, precisely controlled temperature, right between 28 and 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
This exact, precise temperature puts the cheese into a sort of suspended animation. It's hovering just above the freezing point, so no ice crystals form, meaning the texture isn't ruined. But it is cold enough to drastically slow down the enzymes and bacteria that cause the cheese body to break down and age. This simple but incredibly precise trick can actually extend the shelf life of shredded mozzarella and cheddar by a full 6 months, with almost zero negative impact on how it melts on a pizza later.
But what if you can't super chill it? Well, enter high-pressure processing, or HPP. And the crucial takeaway here is this mind-bending number, 600 megapascals. To put that into perspective, that is an absolutely massive, almost unfathomable amount of hydrostatic pressure.
Here is exactly how it works. They take the cheese, already sitting in its final retail plastic packaging, and submerge it in a fluid medium, which is usually just water. Then, they crank the pressure all the way up to 600 megapascals for about 3 minutes. Because the pressure is perfectly uniform all the way around, it doesn't crush the cheese or squeeze the water out. But on a molecular level, that extreme pressure physically and chemically inactivates spoilage organisms, pathogens, and the specific enzymes that cause the cheese to age. After it comes out of that water chamber, that cheese can just sit in a normal refrigerator for an extra 3 to 6 months. No freezing required. Another brilliant strategy doesn't even happen in a storage unit. It actually happens in the cheese vat itself. Cheesemakers will alter the literal recipe to build in a longer shelf life. Take mozzarella, for example. They'll increase the temperature of the water used to stretch the curds. Normally, that's around 130 degrees. But if they push that up to 150 or even 160 degrees Fahrenheit, that extra burst of heat completely destroys any residual rennet, which, if you didn't know, is the enzyme used to curdle the milk in the first place. Without that enzyme actively breaking down the proteins over time, the cheese stays perfectly functional for months longer. Now, of course, increasing the heat can cause the cheese to lose precious fat right into the cooking water. We don't want that. So the industry uses space-age tech like waterless cookers to prevent that fat loss. They also use highly specialized alternative coagulants with crazy sci-fi names like Chimax M. These are specifically designed to have lower proteolytic activity, which is basically a fancy way of saying they don't break down the proteins as aggressively while the cheese ages. They might even bump up the salt levels a bit, all in the name of preserving that perfect texture for as long as humanly possible.
So we've gone from tossing a block of cheddar into a Ziploc bag in your kitchen, all the way to submerging entire pallets of mozzarella in 600 megapascals of hydrostatic pressure. It kind of makes you wonder, right? With technology like this, how many other space-age preservation secrets are hiding right now in your local dairy aisle? Next time you save that leftover cheese for a homemade pizza, you'll know exactly the molecular battle you just won behind the scenes. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and definitely stay curious.